AQAP, and others are increasingly turning to the internet to find those willing to carry out terrorist attacks. Here's Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge.
With the raids unfolding across Europe, Mr. Obama and Mr. Cameron's message was one of unity and transatlantic partnership. But their language to describe the threat underscored a sharp divide.
We do face a very serious Islamist extremist terrorist threat in Europe, in America, across the world.
We're also going to keep working together on strategies to counter violent extremism that radicalizes, recruits, and mobilizes people, especially young people, to engage in terrorism.
It means countering this poisonous, fanatical death cult of a narrative that is perverting the religion of Islam.
Both leaders agreed that social media is driving the digital jihad, used by ISIS, Al-Qaeda in Yemen to claim responsibility this week for the Paris massacre, as well as Nigeria's Boko Haram. The web spreads their hateful ideology.
Social media and the internet is the primary way in which these terrorist organizations are communicating. Now, that's no different than anybody else, but they're good at it.
What Mr. Obama failed to mention is that the U.S. intelligence community warned 8 years ago in this formal threat assessment that the web would be the driver of radical Islam. And while the president set out to reform controversial NSA surveillance programs, including the bulk collection of Americans' phone records after the Snowden leaks, today he and the prime minister said they need broad powers to collect, and they want more, not less, cooperation from the major internet providers.
We're not asking for back doors. We believe in very clear front doors through legal processes that should help to keep our country safe. And my only argument is that as technology develops, as the world moves on, we should try to avoid the safe havens that could otherwise be created for terrorists to talk to each other.
Critics argue no amount of collection would have prevented the Boston Marathon bombing because it was a failure to share information by the FBI with Boston cops that allowed Tamerlan Tsarnaev to slip by law enforcement.
An intelligence source emphasizes that command and control now means operatives are identified by a terror group, given training and financing, but the timing for the plot is left up to the cells. There is no phone call, email, or text for operational security reasons, Brett.
Catherine, any update on these GITMO releases?
We know yesterday the administration threw out this number of 6% of the detainees they've transferred going back to the fight, but that's getting new scrutiny because the lion's share of the detainees were released under President Bush, and typically, from my experience, it's taken us several years for them to re-engage. And this week we confirmed here at Fox News that 2 former detainees are now running ISIS recruitment in Pakistan and Afghanistan. So when they go back, they really become rock stars in the jihadist world.
We'll follow it. Catherine, thanks.
You're welcome.
Saudi authorities